Yeah, Pro Fan Sports Podcast. Let's get it. Pro fans, tune into the program. Every single week, get the dope, fam. Sean on the mic, very flat too. Keep you updated, that's what we do. Pro fans, tune into the program. Pro fans, tune into the program. Pro fans, tune into the program. Every single week, get the dope, fam.
Yo, what to do, everybody? It's your boy John Altidor with Pro Fan Sports Podcast, back at you with another one with my boys, or actually my boy Barry, because Vlad actually unfortunately will not be on the show today. Something came up, so shout outs to Vlad, and good luck with whatever's going on, man. We'll catch you next week. But I'm here with the homie Barry as usual. What's good, Barry?
Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to Pro Fan Sports Podcast. Excited as always to be here and ready for another great episode. So, looking forward to it. And we are on to episode 57.
Episode 57. Now, I was looking it up. I couldn't find too many people I was too familiar with, but I like Clay Matthews. He's not a bad player. 57.
Right, yeah. No, he was certainly on my list. He was a pretty good player when he played. I had Tom Jackson, former linebacker of the Broncos.
Old school, bro.
And then right. Old school.
Old school.
Right, he was actually more famously known for for his time with Chris Berman and ESPN.
That's what I was going to say. If I'm not mistaken, he's the NFL guy on primetime. I used to love watching those guys, man. Whatever happened? I
don't know. I think they just stopped doing the show. Maybe they got too old and retired and stuff, and just didn't want to do it anymore. I'm not exactly sure what. Why they stopped doing the show, because I loved it too. That was a really good show, and I was always excited and looking forward to watching that right after the games would happen for that week in the NFL. So that was unfortunate. They stopped doing it, but it was a great show nonetheless, and I certainly enjoyed it. So other guys that I had for 57 are Francisco Rodriguez. He was a really good closer.
Baseball.
Baseball. Played for the Angels and the Mets.
Yep.
So and he had a really weird delivery to the plate, but the guy was nasty though. He could pitch. I
don't really remember, but I know the name.
Yeah, I'm sure if you saw him, you'd remember him or know, who he is and stuff. So, and then another football guy, I'm sure you'll know who this person is Bart Scott.
Yes, Bart Scott, man. What's his famous line?
Can't wait.
Can't wait.
Yeah. He said that in an interview, post-game interview.
Yeah, I remember after he beat the Patriots?
Exactly, right after he beat the Pats in the divisional round in Gillette Stadium, when the Patriots were 14-2 and they freaking came and upset us. Right.
Yeah, the one time. I can't wait.
Exactly, right. Exactly. That was the only time really the Jets had a big win against the Patriots, especially in the playoffs. So
with Mark Sanchez.
Right, Mark Sanchez, Rex Ryan, right.
The one, the glory year. The glory year.
Yes,
not the years.
Well, they had a couple of good years, because remember, I think they made it to back-to-back AFC championship games with Mark Sanchez and Rex Ryan, but obviously they lost.
They didn't do shit with them.
Yes, but they lost both times they made it to the AFC championship game, and that was pretty much the end of that run. After that, they weren't the same, and didn't make it back to the AFC championship after those 2 years.
Well, we got to get onto episode.
Right, and another one.
Got another one?
Well, I'll give you this. It's another Jets linebacker, but this one is one that's actually important to remember. And I want to see if you remember this person,
Mhm.
John. Mo Lewis.
Mo Lewis, yes. He's the guy that took out Bledsoe.
Yes. And
Yeah.
that started the Patriots dynasty, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
obviously Bledsoe got injured. So then, Brady came in, finished that game, and then became the
Yep.
starter.
It's all
And
history from there.
exactly, I was just going to say the rest is history. Y'all know the
Yeah.
rest of the story. I don't need to tell y'all, the whole thing. But yeah, he's
Listen,
pretty much the guy that ended Drew
don't
Bledsoe's career and
don't call
and began
yourself
Tom Brady's career. He
don't
became
call yourself a Patriots fan if you don't know who Mo Lewis is,
Lewis
man.
is
Like you
right,
out of your mind.
right. In fact, he may be the most important person outside of Tom Brady
Outside
and Bill
and Bill
Belichick
Belichick. Yep.
of the Patriots dynasty because he officially started the dynasty. He
Mm-hmm.
started the career of the GOAT, of the
Put that man
greatest
on the
quarterback of
payroll.
all time. Actually, he should still be getting checks for that. Just for that, he should still be getting checks.
He should be like the dude Bonilla from the
Yes,
Mets.
yeah.
For real.
Bonilla, yeah.
Bobby
He should
Bonilla.
have a contract like that where every year, you know what I'm saying, on a certain date, he gets paid and, and those checks that goes right into his account. So, right, they should set something like that up for him.
Yeah, man, for sure. So on
So, yeah, I
to
had to mention him for sure because,
I mean you
we're
had to.
right. We're Patriots guys and, and he's an important figure and person that began the greatest dynasty, really in sports, not only in the NFL.
That's a fact, man. So on to episode 57 we go. Can't wait.
Yes,
Um
that's right.
but before we start off, please make sure you're following us on social media. We're on Instagram, profans_sports. We're on twitter.com/profansports, facebook.com/profansports. And if you're watching, make sure to push the notifications, the subscribe button, like the video actually for the YouTube algorithm so that, it could be spread out a little bit. That will support
Yes,
us. So make sure you're
definitely.
doing that. Our episodes drop every Tuesday on all platforms out there. Any platform you name it, we're there. And on Wednesdays, the videos drop on Wednesdays. So be here, subscribing, sharing, sending the videos, doing
Yeah,
whatever.
comment.
Yup.
Right.
And as
We've
always, we're
been
gonna
getting some
be
more comments lately, so I appreciate everybody that's been commenting and engaging with us and following our content and you know and supporting. So we appreciate y'all. Keep doing your thing, and we'll keep doing our thing and coming out with new episodes for you guys every week.
I seen somebody commented, it was like, you're the most underrated podcast out. I'm like, I'd agree
Oh
with
shit,
that. I'd
that's
agree with
awesome.
that. I'm
That's
like, I'd
facts
agree.
though.
I'd agree.
That is a great comment. That might be the best comment that is on the Propin Sports YouTube channel that I've
Probably.
seen at least.
I forget the name, but whoever you are, shout outs to you, man. Keep
Yes,
watching.
definitely big shout outs to
You know what I
them for
mean?
sure. We appreciate you.
Facts, man. So we'll be talking about the NBA, updating you on some stuff going on around the NBA, some Celtics talk, and then we'll get into the NFL, some news around there, and then some Patriots updates, see what's going on with them, some Red Sox, some Bruins, and then we'll get into the Me Money Lifestyle person, or we'll do some congratulations, do some shout outs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But first, we're going to start off with the NBA, man. So some NBA news. Brooklyn Nets and Minnesota's game got postponed the other day for the Dante Wright police shooting.
Correct.
So I don't know if people are paying attention, but Dante Wright, I don't even really know too much of the story, but stop me if this is familiar. Some African-American kid got pulled over by the cops, and then by the end of whatever happened, he ended up getting shot and died, right? That's what happened?
Yeah, pretty much. To make a long story short, yeah, and it's the same old story that we've been hearing for, God knows only how long.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's as we can see, reoccurring and becoming too much of a trend, in recent years, and and just keeps
It's
happening over and over again, and seems like no one's really doing anything about it to prevent it and to make it to avoid this from happening. It just
it just
continues
keeps
to keep
happening.
going. Right,
It's
right.
actually happening so much that I'm actually choosing not to watch a lot of these things that keep
Yeah,
happening.
it's
Like,
gotten to
the
that point
video
with
in
me
itself,
too. Right,
like I
right.
know the story, but like I refuse to watch the footage because I feel like what that's really not doing anything positive for me, as an individual, as like a, black man or whatever. I mean, it's
Right.
just like not good for me to keep internalizing all that shit all the time. So like I
No,
hear it.
absolutely.
I definitely read up on the story. Like I know the name, but when I read stuff, I'm very like visual. Like I'm imagining stuff. You know what I mean? So like a
Mhm.
lot of these pictures, they stick with me. You know what I'm saying? So I try to some stuff you definitely can't avoid, like the whole George Floyd stuff last year. It's like it's everywhere. You can't even like turn around without seeing that shit on TV. But it's happening so frequently now. I'm just like, all right, enough's enough, man. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
and then
Facts. For real. Seriously.
yeah, and then you got teams, postponing games, players speaking out, and then of course the what do you call it? The feedback from like the fans. Oh, keep politics out of sports and all that
Oh yeah.
crazy
Right.
shit.
Right. Exactly.
Um,
Like, oh, stick to sports. Right. Right.
right.
Oh yeah.
So
And then shut up and dribble and all that. All that BS.
right. You guys just can't talk about it, but it's just like, we talk about it so much, and it's just it doesn't stop, man. And at this point, it's like what's the solution?
Man, I really don't know. I mean, it's like uh, you know, a situation where you just, as a black man, when you keep hearing about these things, you just kind of like feel like hopeless and helpless. Like, like what are we supposed to do? Like, when is this gonna change, and when is this gonna stop? We thought it was going to change when the Black Lives Matter movement was
It's
active,
not even
and they
talking about
started getting
them.
that going. Last year after the George Floyd case, where he ended up getting killed by police officer in Minnesota, the same place as Dante Wright got
Oh, another
killed.
one.
Yeah, as like DJ Khaled would say, another one.
Mm-hmm.
And then this ain't a
Mm-hmm.
good another one, like he says in all them songs. This is another
Yeah.
one you don't want to be saying.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's really sad and unfortunate, and just and horrific that these things continue to keep happening. We keep seeing black people getting killed time and time again, and they say that, oh yeah, they're going to improve the police um training, and they're going to give them training on, like, diversity, and and they're going to hold these people accountable, and they're going to do this and that, and they don't end up doing it, or they do it and the same thing still keeps happening. So it's like whatever they're doing is clearly not good enough and not cutting it at the end of the
Right.
day.
Which brings
And
me
it's demoralizing and frustrating and
which brings
discouraging
me
as
to
a
like
black man.
right, which brings me to a question like what is postponing games doing? Like what I mean, I guess it's to like, keep away from being a distraction from what's happened. You know what I mean? Like some shit like that happens, and then we're just gonna play a game so that everybody tunes in on TV and just watch and forget about some kid just got killed. You know what I mean? So I guess like in the grand scheme of it, that's why they do certain things. But like it's like you're saying, we just keep doing stuff and nothing's changing. And I don't know, man. Rest in peace to Dante. Right?
Yeah,
Condolences to
R.I.P. That's sad, man.
his
Very sad.
family. I don't know, like I said, I don't know too much about him, whether he had a criminal past, whatever warrants it, you still shouldn't be getting killed for like traffic stops. I don't care what's happening.
Right. And the ridiculous thing, John, was that I'm sure you heard about this. Was that officer who had killed Dante, right? Apparently thought that
She had a taser.
Taser instead of a gun. And she's been in the police force as a police officer for 26
years,
and still doesn't know the difference between a damn gun and a taser. Like, are you fucking kidding me?
Right.
Like, the fuck? Like, come on, man. Like, get fuck out of here with that.
I seen this meme that had the police officer, right, and it had like some victims on, like a police officer shooting somebody, and then the victim had like a sandwich. The officer thought it was a gun. You know what I mean? And then the victim had like iced tea. Officer thought it was a gun. The victim had Skittles, Trayvon Martin. Officer thought it was a gun. And then
wow, really?
Right. And
well,
then
that's crazy.
But they can't differentiate from, the tasers and a real gun. You know what I mean? It's like, so I don't know, man. It's some wild stuff to me, man.
Yeah, that's absurd. That's asinine. That's what it really is, man.
Yeah,
it's a damn shame.
No, I mean, these police are really confused as to like what guns are. You know what I'm saying? Like they seem to not actually know what guns are. You know what I mean? Like, you carry one for a living. How do you not understand?
Right, that's what you do for a living, and that you don't know what the hell a gun is? Like, come on, like, are you shitting me? Like, the fuck?
So he had a phone.
Like, what?
I thought he had a gun.
Please.
So you guys really have problems like understanding what a gun looks like, what it feels like, how much it weighs, all that shit. It's just ridiculous. It needs to stop, man. Like I said, rest in peace to Dante, right, man?
Yes, R.I.P. And condolences to his family.
Listen,
well.
man.
Like, it's a shame that young black men keep going through this, and keep losing their lives because of some bullshit like this, man.
You and I, we're pretty on the straight and narrow. You know what I mean? We go to work, go home, mind our business, abide by the law and stuff.
Absolutely.
And then,
we're good citizens, good people.
You think we're safe, but then you see videos like we saw the other day with the kid walking down the street and the army veteran like stopping him, telling him like, what are you doing in this neighborhood type of stuff. And the guy's like, I'm walking to my house, like shoving him, pushing him. You know that story, right?
Oh, yeah, I've heard of it, yeah.
Dude, you can be doing anything, and it could potentially be an issue, you know what I mean, in this society these days. And it's tough to handle. It's a lot of pressure. It's tough to walk around with it, knowing everything that you know what I mean, knowing that your chances are of something happening is like greater than others. It's definitely like a burden to carry. You know what I mean?
No, without question, absolutely.
But
it's unfortunate that's what it is, John.
It is.
Really feel that way. Very unfortunate.
It is, man. Another news. Not to move away from this because this is like highly important stuff to talk about, but we are a sports podcast after all. So let's talk some sports, man. LaMarcus Aldridge retired, man. Abruptly retired last week, right?
Yeah.
The news is that he suffered some irregular heartbeat, right? And he was experiencing that, and he said it was one of the scariest things he's ever experienced in his life. And I don't know if you ever had any like heart stuff, but like,
no, I had not.
Scary to me.
Thankfully, yeah. Very
you know
scary.
What I mean?
That's like, terrifying.
Listen, my heart beats faster than it should, and I'm like, what's happening type of stuff. You know what I mean? It's
right.
Hey, man. Shout outs to him, dude. You know what I mean? Because he had a 15-year career.
Yes.
He played for the Trailblazers, he played for the Spurs, and then most recently the Brooklyn Nets, but not really because he just signed there a few weeks ago. So he didn't really too much. But this is what they do after good players retire, right? As soon as they retire, we feel like we got to have this debate or talk about it. Like, Is he a Hall of Famer in your view?
Uh, with all due respect to LaMarcus Aldridge, no, I don't think he's a Hall of Famer. Uh, I, just think that he didn't have he had a good career, but he didn't have like a great career. It wasn't like he was, dominant enough, and the numbers were good enough, for him to get into the Hall of Fame. I bet you could call him a borderline Hall of Famer. Uh, I just, feel like, yeah, as good of a player as he was, he just wasn't like a Hall of Fame caliber play. Like watching him play, and just seeing the eye test, um, from that standpoint, it just feel like, yeah, this dude's like an all-star and he's a, really nice player, but, to say Hall of Fame worthy, that he should be elected in the Hall of Fame one day, I'd probably say that that he shouldn't be there and won't get elected in the Hall of Fame, if he ends up being eligible and, and gets in on the ballot. I don't think that, he'll get elected, but I mean, that's not to take away from any of his accomplishments and anything that he's done and all the good things that he's you know been doing in his career for the last 15 years. But I didn't think that it was enough in order for him to get into the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, shout out to LaMarcus Aldridge, man.
Yes,
Making
absolutely, big shout out.
that really hard decision, to move, because health is wealth out here, man. And when you feel stuff like that, it's crucial that you get the heck up out of there. You know what I mean? Like,
absolutely.
don't
Their
even push
life
the
and their
envelope.
health is more important than basketball. It's bigger than basketball, without question.
LaMarcus Aldridge was a really consistent player for a long time. For the Trailblazers, he played really well. He's made a few All-Stars. He's represented for himself very well. But I don't think LaMarcus Aldridge ever dominated any era of basketball. You know what I'm saying? I don't think
Absolutely.
he's never been at the top of the statistical, meters. He's never been a league MVP. He hasn't won any championships. He was a really good player, but he didn't like elevate his teams to like, the brink, every single year. You know what I'm saying?
Right, John. And he also wasn't even like a first team All NBA player. Like he made All NBA teams, but it was like usually like third team, All NBA and stuff. So like, yeah, he was never really like one of the top players in his era.
Listen, he's a top player for the Trailblazers. You know what I mean? You can go in their Hall of Fame.
Absolutely,
for sure.
They can retire his number, right? And I know Damian Lillard was saying that he should have his number retired.
Exactly.
With Portland, yeah.
I definitely don't think, I listened to Shannon Sharp, and he was talking to Deion Sanders about what to him qualifies as a Hall of Famer. He's like, when you're in the game, I have to know, like, this guy was the baddest guy out there when he was playing. You know what I mean? At whatever position he was playing, like at one point in time, he was the baddest. And we cannot say that about LaMarcus Aldridge. So,
right. Yeah, definitely. I agree with that.
I mean, did he play with Kawhi?
Yes. I think for 1 year, I think it was like that year.
Oh, that year, Kawhi sat out?
They played for a season, right? Like Kawhi missed a lot of games that year and wasn't like really happy and stuff. So, and then that's when he got traded to Toronto. So he got there right before they traded him to Toronto. I think, was he there for Tim Duncan's last year too? I think he was. Yeah, he played with Tim Duncan 1 year before Tim Duncan retired, and so yeah, he technically played with Kawhi, but didn't really play with Kawhi. And it was crazy because him and Kawhi was supposed to like, Tim Duncan was trying to pass the torch to them. They were supposed to be the next, era of the Spurs, and keep that, the dominance that the Spurs had going of, making the playoffs and always making deep runs, in the playoffs. But unfortunately, it didn't work out that way.
Kawhi had other ideas.
Yeah, sure did.
You notice how his knee hasn't like hurt that much since he left.
But yeah, he still be missing games because
he
of the load management.
Load management, but I think when he signed somewhere, he slipped that in the contract. Like, I get every third night off. You know what I'm saying?
And I don't play back to backs either. Right. No, like I'll play. It's either one of the two. Either play me the first night of the back to back or the second night of the back to back.
Only back to back I play is in the playoffs. All right.
Right. Exactly. Right. Playoff back to back, cool. Regular season, hell no. Right. No, that's not happening. No, I feel they definitely threw it in the contract because you don't really see these teams complaining about that, and it doesn't stop any of these teams from picking him up and signing him. So
that's a fact. Now let's talk about a real Hall of Famer. Who's a Hall of Famer right now? If he just decides to all right, I'm done with this right now. Steph Curry now is the all-time scoring leader in the Warriors' history, passing Wilt Chamberlain. So that's a guy you can say that's a surefire. We don't got to talk about this.
First ballot, without a doubt.
Exactly. That's it right
that's there. That's a no-brainer, as they would say.
Change the game, okay?
Right. No-brainer.
Former MVP, all that. Unanimous type stuff. So shout outs to him, man, because
big shout outs to him. And he has been on a tear.
Bro, he's been averaging like 40 points the last like 5 games.
40 points in like 10 threes, like per game. Like
I seen
2K stats. Like these are stats that you would think, you would only be able to do in NBA 2K.
I've seen a stat that said like the amount of threes he's shot the amount of threes he's made the last month, and he's made 36, and that's more than a bunch of other teams combined.
Jesus.
That's ridiculous. And one of the teams is the Magic.
Oh my God.
So that's not very surprising right there. So shout outs to
not at all, man. That's not surprising, but I mean that's still ridiculous for one guy to make that many threes.
I'm just glad the Celtics wasn't on that list. I'm like, we ain't on that list. Thank you. So shout outs to Steph Curry, man.
Big shout outs to him. I think honestly, John, we could say that he's had, it impacted the game the most, and really affected it more than just about any player that's really ever played the game.
Like, no, he's literally
even as much as like Michael Jordan, and we know how huge of an effect he had on the game. But I think Curry's effect is as big as really anybody that's ever played.
I think it's more, man, because the way these guys are shooting the ball now, man, it's like everybody's a specialist now, dude. Like it's ridiculous,
Or at least trying to be a specialist.
At least,
right.
Yeah, it is what it is, man. Chef Curry. Dwayne Wade bought stakes in the Utah Jazz team, so
big shout out to D Wade for that.
One of the peanut butter jelly brothers, got them a team, and I'm talking about LeBron and D Wade, right? The banana boat guys.
You really call them the PB&J brothers?
Remember they were on ESPN talking about, you're peanut butter, I'm jelly, and then LeBron was like, I'm definitely jelly. I'm like, man.
Dang, bro. I don't know how I actually missed that conversation, but that's pretty funny.
You can look it up, man. So he bought stakes in the Utah Jazz, which is pretty huge, man, because these guys.
That's awesome.
When you talk about that generational wealth, it's still got like.
There it is. There it is, right there. That perfect example. Exhibit A. Yeah.
And I'm sure LeBron. Can you imagine if LeBron would own the team and still playing?
I don't put that past him, honestly.
Wouldn't that be crazy?
That'd be wild, insane.
Like, I'm playing my team today.
I know, man. That would be something something else. So that would be incredible if he could pull that off, and I don't
What
doubt it.
if,
Would not
right?
be surprised. That
What
that
if,
honestly wouldn't surprise me, John, because he said he wants to, after him being the part owner of the Red Sox, just getting that ownership recently, that
right?
his next move, and he wants to head towards NBA ownership and own an NBA team in the
It'll
near
happen
future.
sooner than later, he said.
Right, and the way that he's playing, he could play another 3-4 years
Well,
in this
listen,
league.
what's he got? 3 years left on his contract.
Yeah, about that, because they just gave him an extension this
Imagine,
off season.
imagine if in 3 years' time this dude makes enough returns to buy an NBA team, and then his contract is over and he signs himself.
Damn. Oh shit. Wow. That'd be something else, man. That'd be out of this world.
It's like, I'm
Like,
not taking no money this year. I'm just playing.
right, like he's signing his own checks, like his own contract. Like, that's what you call like being your own boss, and
That's
and
bossed
being
up.
self-made. Right. That's boss moves right there. So shoot, that would not shock me if that happens and it got to that point, because I know he wants to play until until his son comes into the league, and his son's like a few years from being drafted into the league. So he's definitely gonna at least play for until that point. So that's something that I wouldn't put it past him, and I'm sure he's already thinking about that. The businessman and the business mindset that he has. So yeah, I actually wouldn't mind seeing that.
Let's see what happens, man. But let me get through the rest of this NBA news right here, because we're gonna keep talking. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like,
right. No, I hear you. I hear you, man.
Donovan Mitchell injured his ankle, and he'll be out for several weeks. You know what I mean? And he'll be reevaluated after a week, so he'll miss several games at least. The way he was limping off that court and the way he went down, it's like, looked like it hurt. So hopefully,
Yeah, I know.
He's back sooner than later, because the next game, they played the Lakers, and the Lakers won that game without him, without Donovan Mitchell in their lineup. So
Yeah, I don't think he should be out for too long, though. It
not
seems
too
that
long.
there's no structural damage and stuff, and and no nothing severe. So I think he just needs to get treatment on it and rest, and hopefully he should be fine after that. But I'm glad that that didn't happen, where he suffered an injury that would keep him out for an extended period of time. So good luck to him, and hopefully we see him back on the court soon, which I have a pretty good feeling that we will.
Yeah, man. Hopefully, dude. So James Wiseman tore his meniscus and will be out for the rest of the season. So that's two of the top draft picks that are out for the remainder of the year. Because
That was
LaMelo
him and
broke.
LaMelo.
Yeah,
Yeah.
broke his wrist several weeks ago. The Raptors got fined $25,000 for not complying with the rest and injury report policy. That's never good. You definitely gotta comply with all that stuff and make sure your players are getting their rest. DeMarcus
Yep.
Cousins won't be getting any rest because he signed another 10-day contract with the LA Clippers. So that's cool. And
good for him. That's awesome.
What's not cool is the Pelicans will not be bringing back Isaiah Thomas on another 10-day contract, which is not. I don't like that news. I want to see
Yeah,
IT.
me either. Definitely not cool.
I want to see IT
that's
balling.
whack.
I want to see him
Yes.
balling somewhere near you. You know what I mean?
Yes,
Not near
absolutely.
me, but near you. I hope he's balling.
Right. No, absolutely. No, definitely.
Not for the Celtics. No.
Yeah. Not near they're here, but near you and your other teams that you're a fan of and support. No, for sure.
For real, no. I want to see the guy playing, man. For real.
Yeah, no, he deserves to be in the league. I think he deserves another opportunity.
See,
hopefully he gets one.
He needs to be with a developing team that needs to give him 20 minutes a game at least. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, send him to the Magics, man. You know what I mean? Like, they got nobody now. Vucevic is gone. Gordon is gone. They got Mo Bamba.
And Terrence Ross. Yeah, oh man, I know. And it's funny because freaking Joel Embiid every time he scores on Mo Bamba, he told the freaking the DJ, the people that play the music during the games, that he wants that song played every time he scores on him.
Young Shaq West said, "I'm really with this."
Oh
I think
man!
actually, that dude Shaq West, he's actually a baller, and he's playing overseas now.
What, he plays ball? I didn't know he plays ball.
No,
Wow!
Shaq West actually plays ball. You know what I mean?
Wow!
So,
I didn't know he could hoop. Wow!
yeah. For those of you who don't understand, Shaq West created a song called "Mo Bamba." You know what I mean? And it's pretty funny.
Yeah, it's
It was
hilarious.
actually a pretty big hit like a couple years ago. So,
Yeah, it was right. Like that, they used to like play that in the
that
clubs
was
and
all over the
stuff,
place.
and like, yeah, and all kinds of parties. So yeah,
Listen,
he was a one-hit wonder, but that hit was definitely,
it did wonders. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
for sure, for sure. That's a good point. No, that definitely.
For real, for real. Anthony Davis has been cleared for full court and full contact activities, so he'll be back in the Lakers lineup soon, right? As soon as like in the next couple games, he should be back out there on the court. Because they need him out there, man, for sure. You know
No,
what I
sure
didn't
do.
know? I heard like when the Lakers played the Celtics, I heard they had the best defense in the league. Is that true?
They did. I think, yeah, they're
The
number one in
Lakers?
defensive rating and defensive efficiency. Yeah, no, they've always been a good, defensive team in the top, ranked defensive team in the NBA. So I'm not really surprised. I thought it would be Utah that'd be the
Yeah.
number one defensive team, and I think they were for a little while
Or
during the season.
Phoenix?
Right, they too, because they played pretty good defensive. They've gotten better at that end of the floor, but I'm not too surprised about the Lakers being the top team, because even last year they were an elite defense, and I think since Anthony Davis has been there, they've certainly gotten much better on that end of the floor. So, and when he comes back, which you said he'd be back pretty soon, I'm sure they'll be right back. At that. I mean, they're there now, but I'm sure he'll definitely come back and give them that spark that they need, because yeah, they're definitely hurting right now, to say the least.
For sure. Somebody else was hurting. Denver Nuggets lost Jamal Crawford to
Jamal
Ace.
Murray.
Jamal Murray. What? I got all these guys mixed up. Jamal
Oh,
Murray. And I actually like Jamal Murray a lot, man. I like
me
his
too.
grit. Non-contact ACL tears. Like, I hate those, man. It's like,
Oh, those
come
are the
on,
worst.
man. You know what I
I
mean?
know
It's like, come on. I was just balling, bro. You know what I mean? Like, come on. I was about to hit that, That always looks painful. So, hopefully he comes back stronger for sure, man. I'm rooting for him. But with that said, the
Me too. Get
Nuggets
well soon, Jamal.
are reported to be in serious talks with Austin Rivers, who was previously reported that he was going to sign with the Bucks, but now he's in serious talks with the Nuggets, which I think would be a really good move for them, because that would help a lot with the loss of Jamal Murray.
Right, no question, absolutely, and they definitely need some more scoring another shot, maker, that can help them on offense with the loss of Jamal Murray, and certainly Austin Rivers can give them that and bring that to the table. So we'll see if he ends up in Denver and how that goes, but he could certainly help and contribute to that team.
For sure. The NBA has fined the San Antonio Spurs $25,000 for violating league's player resting policies as well.
Yep.
That actually just came out earlier today. There's going to be the Hall of Fame coming up, and people that are doing the introductions have been announced. So Michael Jordan will be presenting Kobe Bryant in the Hall of Fame. Hall of Fame point guard Isaiah Thomas will be representing Kevin Garnett. David Robinson will represent Tim Duncan, which is only right.
Absolutely makes sense.
Facts. Hakeem Olajuwon and Calvin Murphy will present Rudy Tomjanovich to the Hall of Fame. So that's
Nice.
pretty
That's
cool. I think
awesome.
that's a really nice lineup right there.
It
And
is. No, absolutely.
lastly, before we get into the Celtics news, the Lakers will not visit the White House during their DC trip due to scheduling conflicts and COVID-19 concerns. Right. And I guess, when I seen that, I immediately thought about the previous president who was in there and how a lot of these teams didn't even think about going over there. As soon as they won something, they was like, we ain't going there. Yeah, I mean, that was like the first thing. Are we going to the White House? Nope. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So
Yeah.
now I guess it's something else. I guess it's something to think about again. But should teams start returning to the White House after winning championships? And do you think like there's any reason to like look at that kind of funny?
I think teams should start going back to returning to the White House and you know and and celebrating their championship that way. I thought that was a nice tradition that teams were doing after they won a chip, is being honored and and celebrated by the president of United States. So I always thought that was pretty cool, particularly when the Boston teams were winning all those championships, and they would go to the White House and be celebrated by the president, by Barack Obama, who was in office at the time for for their second dynasty that they had. So I I definitely think it certainly depends on the president and how the players feel, and it's always been an optional thing, and something that the players are open to doing. If they do like the president, but I can certainly understand them not doing it. With the president that just with the second to last president that we just had. So I hope that they can get back to that soon. I know we're in a crazy and really tough time right now in the country, so I can understand why teams would be opposed to doing it at the moment. But when things do get better and stuff, and start to be able to feel more comfortable with actually going to places and being around other people, I think they should get back into doing that, because I've always enjoyed seeing teams go to the White House when after they win a championship.
Yeah, I think for me, when players were not going to the White House because of DT, and how the DT supporters were always talking about how disrespectful it was, that teams were not going to the White House, it's the greatest honor and stuff like that. I mean, it's the White House, it's the president, but then turn around and tell you don't get political. You know what I mean? It's like, so you want me to visit the White House or not? You know what I mean? Because if you do, then that's political. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you don't, that's political.
Right.
It's like, no matter which way you put it, they're gonna say it's political somehow.
Right, it's a losing
if you go to the White
situation.
House, it's political. If you don't go to the White House, it's political.
But
You know what?
right,
We're gonna do what the hell we wanna do. You know what I'm saying?
exactly.
And I think I agree with you, in a sense, like, listen, it's always been, something, it's optional, one. And I think if you believe in something, you do what you believe in. And if you don't believe, like, the person that's sitting in the office at the time represents who you are, and, the message that you're trying to push forward, and you don't agree with him, then you shouldn't have to go there. You know what I'm saying? And if you want to change your mind and go now, that's your choice. You know what I mean? You still have the invitation. Like, because if teams were like, you know what, we're gonna go to the White House, DT would have been like, yeah, come on in. You know what I mean? He wasn't gonna say no. Or he might have said, no, you already declined. You can't come no more. He'd
Yeah,
probably say
no,
that.
absolutely. No, certainly that would have happened if they wanted to go.
Yeah.
But it's funny and it's crazy that no teams wanted to go at all.
Well,
Like
except for
even
like the hockey teams and you know those teams and like the cricket teams and you know
I know for real. Yeah,
the water
lesser leagues,
polo, the
less
water polo
popular leagues,
leagues.
all wanted to go and stuff. Right,
Yeah, you
and,
know,
and still wanted to be honored and celebrated by the president.
right.
So yeah, that's pretty funny.
They really wanted that Wendy's, you know what I mean? Like that LSU got.
Oh yeah,
Like
I
that shit.
remember, man. Oh shoot, they wanted them some money. They wanted that 4 for 4, huh?
They wanted that 4 for 4, man. I
Oh
mean,
man.
no, that shit
Which
was
is a
funny.
pretty good deal. You can't beat the 4 for 4, but shoot, I'd want
Right.
something better than that if I'm going to the White House and celebrating a championship. Like, come on,
Yeah, but to move from that though, I guess, hey, listen, it's the team's choice, it's the player's choice. You can't tell them what to believe in, you can't tell them what not to believe in. You know what I mean? Like we
right,
said, if they're damned if they go, they're damned if they don't. Political, whatever.
right.
You know what I'm saying? But on to some Celtics news, man. The Celtics,
Yes, get to those
boy,
Celtics.
listen, we've been bashing on the Celtics all year.
We
And
have.
maybe they heard us, or maybe they heard Kendrick Perkins. You know what I'm saying?
That tweet that he posted, yeah.
That tweet that he posted that got everybody to play so good. You know what I mean?
Yeah, especially JT.
Yeah. Maybe it's him. Maybe it's the reason the team went on a six game winning streak because Perkins decided to open his mouth. I don't know.
Well, he did hit. He said that JT hit him up after that tweet, and they had a phone conversation and
Oh, I
talked it
heard
out.
that. I heard that
And
too.
stuff. Right.
And talk what out? And I was like, oh man, Perk, you're so right. Come tomorrow, I'm
Oh.
gonna go. I'm gonna go off for the next 6 games, all because of you. Thank you, buddy. Like, come on, man.
Oh man! So you don't think they had a man-to-man and heart-to-heart conversation? Because that's what I was hearing. That they had a real conversation. It was like a real talk conversation where bringing JT wanted to know where Perkins was coming from
Yeah.
on that tweet. And
Mm-hmm.
Perk explained himself and explained why he tweeted that, and and why he said that and stuff, and let him know that he's a fan of his and he wants him to see him do well and be successful and all that. But he certainly has to step it up and play much better than how he's playing. So and JT was definitely accepted that and understood that, and has certainly responded in a great way and handled it like a about like a professional would, like you would expect someone who is great of a player as Tatum is to respond to that. So I think it
Yeah.
had a little bit of an impact and effect, but not as much as the Boston media is saying that it had. It wasn't
I
like
think.
boom, it turned around this season all of a sudden, and it just like what
Listen,
lit a fire under them, right? Like people are saying.
I don't think it had much effect at all. You know what I'm saying? I think Perk is paid to commentate on TV. You know what I'm
Right,
saying?
he's
Like
an analyst. That's what he
you know what I
does.
mean? I think when he said that, he knew that was gonna get some reaction, and boom, you know what I mean? Every radio station in Boston, like, oh yeah, Perk, I love Perk. He's the one. Like, listen, Perk is not the one, even though I love Perk too. You know what I'm saying? But it's like Jason Tatum got a coach. You know what I mean? He got position coach. He got teammates. You think he doesn't understand what he needs to do to like become great? It's like he works on this shit. He's an all-star. Like, I'm going to call Jason Tatum when I've never made an all-star myself. I'm going to call an all-star and tell him exactly how to play so that he could, to me, it's just like, I don't know. You're getting too much credit. And, I mean, if Jason Tatum called him and had a conversation and, that motivated him to like, elevate his game, that's great. You know what I'm saying? But like Jason Tatum still has to make those shots. Like Perk's nowhere to be found. You know what I mean? And last year when he went on a similar tear, where was Perk at? Like he was in the bubble. Did Perk call him then too, or because
no, I don't think he hit him up.
you know what I'm
When
saying?
he went
It's
off
like
in the bubble and right, and was doing his thing in the bubble, right? I don't think Perk, gave him that call and was having those conversations with him then
right.
that he is now.
So now all of a sudden he's doing it again. It has to be Perk, y'all.
But I will give Perk this. I'm glad that he kept it real and was, honest about, how he felt, about Jason Tatum, and he, and that he called him out and held him accountable because, a lot of people, including myself, that been following the Celtics team, have, you know, started to figure out, or at least have, really come to realize that they think that, the coaches and the people in the organization aren't calling him out enough and aren't holding him, Jason Tatum, and these players more accountable than they should. So so at least, Perkins is doing that and, holding him to a, high standard in which, we should hold Jason Tatum into a high standard because he has shown that, he's a great player and that he's a superstar in the making and that he does really have the chance to be, a special player in this league and to do great things and to, and to win and be successful. So I think, with that being said, that's why I think people are giving Perkins credit is because he actually, had the balls to, call him out and hold him accountable when, there's his coaches and, other guys on the Celtics aren't really doing that.
And that's the word that like gets me. I had to hold him accountable. Who the fuck are you? Like, like get out
Come
of
on, Perk was a
here.
good role player. Let's not disrespect
No, he
Perk.
was a great player, but listen, you were saying the same thing on Pro Fan Sports Podcast. Can I say Barry held him accountable and he like, just decided, like we've been saying the same shit. Perk didn't say anything that nobody else hasn't been saying. That's what I'm saying. It's like either way, man.
No, I feel you on that because we've all been critical on Tatum and been holding him accountable. Right, right.
Come on,
but
man.
I'm saying Brad Stevens hasn't, like, the coaches haven't, like, we don't work for the Celtics, we don't work for NBC Sports Boston or, one of these big media platforms in Boston, at least not yet. Hopefully one day. So, like, people
definitely
aren't gonna,
one day.
Right. So people aren't gonna know, some people aren't gonna know that, we've been, doing that unless they've been following the show and listening to us. But but no, I definitely hear what you're saying that, he's not the only person that has been doing that. He's just, a person that has a big platform and that is, popular in the, public eye and people who follow the Celtics that have been doing that. So, no, I certainly agree with you, John, that he's not doing anything different that, fans like us or,
if
regular
anything,
people aren't doing.
I think, the one thing that's definitely helping him is attacking the basketball, getting to the line, which is, helping him get in rhythm on most of these games that he's going off.
Yes,
like
absolutely.
Right away, he's attacking the basket. And I think we've all been saying that attack the basket, like, so you can open stuff up, stop shooting threes. And it looks like,
fadeaway jumpers. Right.
A few of them look nasty. You know what I'm saying? Use it when you have to, not just because you can do it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Only when you have to, not because you're Jason Tatum, you can be wet from anywhere. You know what I'm saying?
No, facts. I couldn't agree with you more on that, man.
Right.
For real.
So
that's
on
what we've seen from Jason Tatum. Like that's when he's at his best, and when this team is at their best is when he's in attack mode and being assertive and getting into the paint, and and scoring that three or getting to the free throw line. So
man,
that's
that
definitely
3-point
been the major difference, and we haven't seen as much of those step backs, which is good because we all know he can hit it. Like that's his shot. That's his
Oh,
go-to move. But I mean, he doesn't need to be doing that all the time. Doesn't need to rely on that all the time and
right.
stuff.
No, he's pulling it out when he needs to, like against the Trailblazer. Woo.
Woo!
You know what I mean? Like,
Right over CJ McCollum. That was cold-blooded, man. That was nasty. Woo, man.
And you can tell CJ McCollum wasn't trying to foul him on that play too, because he didn't go too hard on him.
Right, because he
know,
knew that he was going to hit it and give him an N1. He wasn't trying to give him an
exactly,
N1. Right.
Exactly. So they've won their last 6 games. So they played Denver. They played Denver. They won all those games.
Yep, the West Coast.
All the West Coast games. So when they played Denver, they won 105-87. They played the Trailblazers. They won 116-115. They played the Lakers 121-113. And then on Saturday night, they beat the Warriors 119-114. So they've had a huge stretch.
You said Portland, right? That they beat
Portland, the Trailblazers. Trailblazers by 116-115.
Okay. Mm-hmm. That's good. Want to talk a little bit about the Denver win. I think, honestly, that was the most impressive win, not only in that trip, but of, the whole season. I think that's honestly their best win, so far this season to this point.
The best win for sure. The best game I've seen was Saturday night's game against the Warriors.
Yes, absolutely.
That was
amazing. Incredible.
Wow. We were down 3 of our top 6 guys. You know what I'm saying? Jaylen Brown, Time Lord, Fournier. They're all out. And, we were down 16, brought it back. Lost it again, brought it back. Jason Tatum going toe-to-toe. You know what I'm saying? But that Denver game was special, too. What they scored, like 33 points?
Yeah. So at one point, they went on like a 31-3 run, and then they ended the game on a 40-8 run.
Yes, that's it.
From like the middle of the third quarter to the rest of the game. Yeah, right. And they were down before they went on that run. They were down 14. So they legit just completely dominated and took
and the
over
Nuggets
that
had a meltdown
and shut them down. And the
Nuggets had a meltdown.
Quit.
He had a meltdown.
Right. They legit snatched the heart right out of his chest, John. Like they just took his heart and ripped it right out, which was insane. That they really made this guy that frustrated that he just decided to quit on his team and stop playing the game, and didn't want to play anymore, and didn't want to be on the court where they even had to bench him in the fourth quarter when the game was still close enough for them to have a chance to win. And Mike Malone, the Nuggets coach, was like, "Nah, you gotta go. Like this ain't." You know what I'm saying? Your head's not in the game, and you're not playing the way we need you to play. So, which was crazy. That I've never seen a guy quit on his team in the middle of the game and just like, and legit just not.
You think Jokic quit?
Any sort of I think definitely he quit because he's, like I said, he stopped playing the game. He stopped playing the game, and
I think he got
he's
frustrated.
the leader of that team. So
I think he got frustrated.
That was contagious. That led on to the rest of the guys not continuing to play hard and to play well, and and that had that trickle down effect. Because when you see a superstar player, and a player of his caliber not not want to play and stuff, and not playing hard and giving his full effort, and and not doing what he needs to do out there, then the rest of the guys are most of the time gonna follow suit and and do the same thing. And I think Coach he was frustrated about calls he wasn't getting with the refs, and thought that he should have gone to the line more than that. There was a lot of contact on the plays that were non-calls, so like he was more focused on the refs than the actual game, which was crazy to say the least. And and something that I've never seen from him before, and I don't really, see too much. Like, obviously, guys complain about calls, but not to the point where they just stop playing and end up like quitting and not even wanting to be in the game anymore. Like, that
Right.
was absurd.
Right. I mean, nevertheless, man, the Celtics went out there and they took all 3 games out in the West, and then came back home and took the game against the Warriors. So right now they're
Right.
squarely in the 4th spot right now. They're 1 game above the Hawks now, and if everything goes right, like they could possibly end up on a third seed. Let's say
Ooh, you think they can catch Milwaukee though? Ooh,
Milwaukee go on a losing streak, man. Like
right. They haven't been playing well lately. They're not playing
that's what
well.
I'm saying. So and what's his name just came back. Giannis just came back. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, right, against the Hawks because he was injured. Right,
He was
right.
injured. So we'll see what happens. I think anything's possible right now because just last week we were the 8th seed and now we're number 4. You know what I mean? Hopefully we can keep that, for the rest of the season because they got a few
Right,
games
right.
coming up. On the 19th, they play the Bulls. On the 22nd, they play Phoenix Sun, which is going to be a big game. And then another big game on the 23rd, a back-to-back versus the Nets. It always seems like we catch the Nets on the back-to-backs, and then they just kill
Exactly.
us.
We always played them on a back-to-back, right? The only time we didn't play them on a back-to-back was Christmas Day when they absolutely annihilated and destroyed us
Right,
that game. But other than that, like, right, it's always on a back-to-back where we don't have all of our guys. We don't have a healthy and full roster because that's what I want to see. I want to see both teams, healthy and have their full rotation and roster, and and everybody playing on the floor because it sucks every time those two teams play. There's always key players that are missing from at least one of those teams. But
Yeah.
no, there's certainly big games coming up. I like what I'm seeing from this team. They're playing hard and playing well and playing together on both ends of the floor. Hopefully they can keep it going. Definitely tough games against the Suns and Brooklyn. Well, we don't know because we don't know who's actually going to play that
In
game
Brooklyn,
because
right?
they've been resting players left and right and haven't been really playing any of their main guys much. So it's like they're already resting guys for the postseason, which is crazy. So we'll see who they end up playing, who ends up actually being on the floor for that game. But definitely looking forward to these next few games and seeing how if this team can continue to keep it going and keep winning because they're definitely rolling right now and they're playing their best basketball of the season. So I hope that they can continue to not to continue to keep this going and not let up and
Right.
get too complacent and too comfortable.
Right. Some more things that's happening with the team. Fournier is still out due to COVID-19 protocols. Robert Williams, he continues to be out with a knee issue. He's missed the last 2 games. Jason Tatum, he won the Eastern Conference Player of the Week last week. He scored 53 points that week, and he's been on a tear himself. He's scoring at least 30 a game now. The Celtics released Mo Wagner to create room for Jabari Parker, who dropped 11 points on the Warriors on Saturday night. So that was
Yes,
immediately paying
that's a
dividends.
really good pickup. I
Yep.
like that pickup a lot.
Yep. Jason Tatum says he's still recovering from the COVID-19 symptoms. Well, COVID-19 situation that he went through, but he actually needs an inhaler now, to help him get through the games, to make sure that his lungs are expanded as much as they can. It was been reported that Brad Stevens rejected a $70 million deal from the University of Indiana to remain with the Celtics. That's huge. That's
Wow.
huge. That's huge.
Wow.
It's a lot of money.
My goodness.
Mm-hmm.
He really turned that down?
It's a lot of money.
That's a massive and ginormous contract. 7 years, 70 mil. Wow, from Indiana.
That's $10 million a year.
Yeah, pretty
Yeah.
much on an average. Not give or take. Not including if he has any incentives
So
in that deal.
listen,
But Yeah,
Listen,
that's big money for a college coach,
listen.
especially.
Does do you think that means that he's actually getting paid more by the Celtics?
Ooh, that's a good question. I didn't even think of that.
For you
Um,
to turn down 70 million?
yeah,
Why? Like,
for exactly. Yeah, going back to Indiana, his home state. Shoot, I guess so. I mean, I would probably say yes. That would probably mean that you know if he must be getting close to that or more than that if he's able to turn down a big contract like the Indiana offer that they just gave him. So I mean that, or else if that were the case, if he wasn't making anything close to that contract offer, then why would he turn it down? I think it could also mean that he's happy,
right? You
being
know,
the coach of the
his kids like
Celtics
it
and that.
here.
Right,
His
right. His
wife is
kids like
happy.
it here.
You know,
Himself is happy. Right. The wife
he called
too.
himself an
So
asshole.
right, right, right. And that roots for the
The
Patriots. Right.
Patriots.
Since
Yep.
Belichick's his boy and
Yep.
stuff. So I guess he must be comfortable living in Massachusetts and and not want to leave and likes being the coach of the Celtics and and likes where the team is going. So he I don't think that he is ready to leave just yet or would want to leave in the foreseeable future, because if that were the case he would have taken that in a heartbeat. But
Listen, if that was me, buddy, I'm gone.
right, even if you
Yeah.
were coaching the Celtics, John, and you were happy and you liked coaching the Celtics right, and you were you knew that your family was happy being in Boston and Massachusetts,
It would come
you
down
would
to
have
how.
still taken that in a heartbeat.
Listen. My family will be happy somewhere else with $70 million. You know what I'm
But
saying?
money
Like,
doesn't buy happiness, John.
who told you this?
What? What do you mean? It's a fact.
Who's listen? Stop.
That's about. I'm just talking about in life
Listen.
in general.
Stop listening to those people. You know what I'm saying? With 70 million, I can build me happiness. You know what I mean? Like, I don't
Yo,
know,
you really
man.
think so, man? You really think money can be happy? Because you could, there's some people, like I'm sure some millionaires or some people that are rich and are making a lot of money,
Listen,
but they're not happy with their lives.
there's no doubt, right? More money, more problems, right?
Right, right.
Right.
As Biggie Smalls says,
But
right.
listen, that usually means like, because you got more money, you're buying a Lambo. You know what I mean? You're buying a mansion.
Hmm.
You're going on vacation all the time. Like,
Right,
I
right.
don't need all that shit. Give me like a little gated community, you know what I'm saying? I got my little gate. My house it's not a mansion, but it's big enough for my family. I don't need a Lambo. Give me the souped up Toyota, bro. Like, I'm good. I don't need to pay
I feel
like
you're more of a simpler guy. Right,
I
right.
don't listen. That's what more money, more problems. Because you went and bought expensive shit. Now you're in debt because you got more money. Like
Right, right, right.
I don't know,
You're
man.
not spending it wisely. Right, right.
It's simple for me, man. You know what I mean? Like I guess you have to think about other people coming out of the woodworks and stuff. But I'm not friendly anyway, so like I don't know you, buddy. You know.
Right now. Oh man.
Listen, I'm building an underground bunker. I'll see you people another time. Like 70 million?
No, I feel you, man. It's definitely something that you gotta consider without question. Really give it some deep thought without question. So yeah, it's crazy that Brad Stevens just. To me, it seems like he just easily turned it down and was like, "Nah, like I'm good here. Like I'm
I mean,
happy being the coach of the Celtics and
listen,
living a good life and love my job and what I'm doing. Here that I will just easily turn it down." He made it seem as if it was
no,
it was that easy turning a contract down
I don't think
like
so.
that.
But like, let's say you're making 50 mil, right, for like 7 years, and You know that, yeah, that's 20 mil off of the deal that Indiana gave you, right? But like you said, happiness, right? If your kids are happy here, what's $20 million more when you have 50 already? Like that's still like mad freaking money, you know what I mean? And then I'm sure you get endorsement deals that will, make up for that lost $20 million anyway. So
make that money multiply. Exactly. Right.
So to me, I say I would just be out because I've never seen 70 million. So why wouldn't I be out? You know what I mean? I don't know what having 1 million feels like. So if you offer me 70 million, I don't care what's going on. I'm out of there.
Like, say no more. When do I start? Exactly.
Listen, if somebody
You're
said
right off to the bag. I feel you.
If a podcast calls me and said they're going to give me $70 million to leave Pro Fan Sports Podcast, I'm fucking gone. Like, you're on your own, but no, I'm joking, man.
Damn, for real? It's like that?
Of course, I'd be taking my people with me. But
what I'm trying to say is like, then you just instantly forget about me and Vlad and everything we've done and built, together.
Listen,
and, this year, more than a year now that we've been doing this and have, and have been, consistent and have, made this thing grow. Like, you would just take off and be like, all right, fellas, I, just got a new $70 million deal with another podcast. I'm out of here. Like, you're on your own. Figure this shit out yourselves. Like, have a nice life. I'll see y'all later.
Yeah,
like, I hope you wouldn't.
I don't know if I'd say that last part right there. I'd be like, listen, I got to go take this money, you guys. You know what I mean? So then we could do our thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, work or somewhere like that. But
so would you still keep doing this podcast? Or
Of course.
Okay, but, all right. I'm glad you wouldn't leave your boys hanging like that.
No, I'm not like that at all.
Okay.
I definitely.
That makes me feel better now. Thanks for making me feel better.
I think I would definitely have a hard time, if I was with the Celtics and I really loved the job. I think I'd have a hard time to leave it, for any amount of money, just because like I'm like a loyal person and stuff like that. But at the same time, like I realize like $70 million is huge, and for him to leave that,
no, absolutely,
yeah, for him to leave that on the table is like he's either getting paid somewhere close or he just really, really loves Boston.
No, absolutely.
Maybe he sees that in the long run, he'll get even more money than that right there. And he's already starting to build something here, and he has Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown.
That extension too.
Yeah.
So he maybe with that extension, he could be making more than that.
Facts, man. So more news. Jaylen Brown, he missed the Warriors game with a non-COVID illness, so he's probably has like a cough or something. We'll update you on anything. But the other night, he scored 40 points against the Lakers on 85% shooting. He went 7 for 22. He's the first ever Celtics to hold that stat line.
Yeah,
which is pretty huge.
Big shout out to Jaylen Brown. That was a great and awesome performance. But by him, he was balling, and he was working the Lakers like a part-time job.
He was doing his thing, man.
Right. No, absolutely. So,
yeah, and that's gonna be it for the NBA segment right there. So that was pretty good. On to the NFL segment, dude. One guy.
Football.
Facts, man. I can't wait for football, dude. The draft is in a couple weeks.
Yeah, less than 2 weeks, in about a week and a half. Right.
Next week's episode, we're gonna have Kevin Tame Jr. on. Shout out to K Money.
Big shout out. That's my guy, right? K Money.
Facts.
He's gonna be on here. So looking forward to that.
He's going to be talking to us about the NFL draft and, specifically for the Patriots, so we can talk what the Patriots are going to be doing. But one guy that seems to be on the, free agent market every year, and he seems to be making at least 10 mil wherever he's going, is Jadeveon Clowney. He signed to the Browns for a 1-year deal worth up to $10 million. So now
it's a good contract for him. Not bad.
Now they have Jadeveon Clowney and Myles Garrett on the other side.
On the same D-line.
Which is going to be crazy.
Right.
With that signing, the Browns actually had to release Sheldon Brown and the Browns will save $12 million in their cap by doing that move right there. So somebody's gonna luck out with Sheldon Williams for sure. You know,
Richardson.
Sheldon. There is a Sheldon Williams.
Yeah. That was the NBA player, the one that's married to Candace Parker. Yeah.
I'm mad he's married to Candace Parker. Never mind.
Dang, I thought you were gonna say it. Never mind.
Sheldon Richardson.
She can ball though. Shout out to Candace Parker, man. She can ball. She's got hoop game. So
listen, she made me pay attention to women's basketball for real.
Yes,
for real.
fact.
You know what I'm saying? And her and Maya Moore, man, like two of the ones that was like, I can't believe this shit.
Right,
you know,
they're both the problem, definitely.
They're a bucket, man. So Sheldon Richardson, he'll do somebody good on their line. Hopefully, you know, a team near us would take a stab at that right there. You know,
yeah, that'd be nice. I'd like that.
That would be nice.
Yeah, that one near us. Definitely. Come to us. We'll be more than glad to take you.
That's right. James Conner, you know, who I'm surprised was still on the free agent market. He just signed with Arizona Cardinals. So that was a good pickup by them. I couldn't believe he was still out there.
I'm surprised the Steelers didn't re-sign him because I don't even know who their running back is right now.
Right, but
sure. I hear that they're looking at running backs in the draft and that they were prepared to let James Conner go because they want a younger, faster, more explosive, running back, that can, be able to help, improve their running game since their running game was pretty trash last year, even with James Conner. So
we'll see what he does.
Right. We'll see what they do in the draft and if they actually do keep their word on that. But good for James Conner going to the Cardinals, who've been making moves and signed a lot of veteran players.
Yes, sir. Team. The Bears signed Marcus Goodwin. That's a so-so move.
That's all right. Yeah, we'll see what he does. I mean, have fun playing with Andy Dalton as your quarterback.
Aldin Smith, another so-so move, got signed by the Seahawks on a one-year deal. So,
it's not bad. Risk. They needed another pass rusher. They need more depth on the defensive line.
Listen, when you're going to sign Aldin Smith because you need another pass rusher, boy.
That's true. Right. You ain't wrong about that. You ain't lying.
Like,
no
really?
Lies detected. Right. Look, out of all people, you sounded freaking Aldin Smith just because you're trying to get you another edge rusher and more of a pass rush. Like, that's how you know you got problems and you really need to evaluate your roster and your defensive line. You're better off getting you someone in the draft.
They don't have draft capital like that. That's the problem. Because you guys keep trading people. Trading the pieces. They keep trading, draft picks. Like, listen to Bill Belichick, y'all. We got 10 picks in this draft. You know what I mean? Like,
let's stack up those picks, man.
For real.
Y'all can't give them away. Y'all need players. You know what I'm saying? Particularly on defense, because they ain't got no defense.
The best way to build your team is through the draft, man. He always says that.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So Aldin Smith, man, good luck over there. Cordero Patterson signed with the Falcons, so he'll be returning kicks and sometimes getting in the backfield and maybe catch a ball or two, and then.
Yeah, if they even use him in that role, I feel like the Patriots were the only team that used him in that role. He's mostly just a return guy, kick and punt returner.
Right, because he was useless everywhere else. Like, listen.
Right, he's not a receiver. Like, I know there are even some teams that try to make him receiver. I'm like, nah, he ain't a receiver, bro.
He's a tool guy. He's a tool guy, all right? Give him the ball, let him run it, after the catch and stuff, and he'll be great at that. Duran Harmon. Old Patriot, favorite. He is now a journeyman because he has signed with the Falcons. So he played for us for like a good 6 seasons, and then he moved on to Detroit, and then now he's with the Falcons. So, good luck to him. Jason McCourty, Devin McCourty's brother, our safety, he had to visit the Giants because he's also a free agent himself. So good luck to him on these things right now. And moving on to some Patriots news. Julian Edelman retired after 12 years. I know everybody knows that already, but we are a weekly podcast, so we're telling you what's happening throughout the week.
The week,
Okay?
exactly,
The week.
guys. It's
Okay?
a whole week's worth of news,
A
people.
whole week.
So, exactly.
You know, it's
like y'all need to get that in your heads, and and understand that's what we do. Like, even if it happens beginning of the week, beginning, middle, end,
we
like,
don't talk about it.
exactly right. We don't care if it's old news. Like, it's still new, important news for us to discuss and inform y'all on this podcast. That's what we do here.
And our supporters like that.
Exactly.
So,
shout out to the supporters that do like that and appreciate that. Big shout out.
Because everybody doesn't have time to watch every game throughout the whole season, right? So we do a recap to let y'all know what happened during the week.
Exactly. So y'all can stay informed and and know exactly what's going on if y'all didn't have a chance to catch the game. Exactly. So at least you know what happened. Like, that's what we do. Like, come on, people. Like, we've been doing this for more than a year. Like,
you know what I'm saying?
Y'all still haven't gotten
you
the
still
memo.
don't know
Like,
what's
what is
going
wrong
on
with
there?
y'all? Right. Like, what is wrong with y'all, man? Like, jeez. Like, y'all tripping, John. Aren't these people tripping?
They tripping, man. For real. Anyway, after 12 seasons, Julian Edelman decided to retire. He had a really nice video, him on the Gillette Stadium field.
Yeah.
I love Julian, man.
Yeah, me too. I'm a big fan of Jules.
I've seen a lot of people saying, he's gonna retire for a year and then he's gonna be with Brady next year. I'm like,
please
I
get
don't
out
know
of
if
here.
you guys know that Brady's gonna be like 45 pretty soon.
Right.
Like, I know he just won a Super Bowl last year, but like, realistically, how much of them hits can you keep taking, man, in the NFL, before something, starts getting loose?
Right. Well, he did just sign that extension and stuff with, Tampa. So
that brings him to 45, right?
Right. But I feel like that sort of extension, even though it brings him to 45, he could play for it as long as he wants. But realistically, I only see him playing another 2 years until 45. So it's like, right, he's not getting any younger either. And, his time in the league is coming up, pretty soon to, for him to go, with, all due respect. So, it's like he's not going to be around long. Gronk ain't going to be around long, because whenever Tom Brady goes, Gronk's going to go too.
Listen,
so it's like,
Gronk's
and plus,
lucky he escaped without an injury this year. All right.
Exactly.
This is the first time I've seen that he didn't get out of
no major injury. Right.
They better keep using him how they've been using him. You get a few passes here and there until the playoffs. That's when we really use you. So
exactly, and it's nice to have all them receivers and all them tight ends to throw to.
Right, it is. So Julian Edelman, I don't think is coming out of retirement to play with Tom Brady. And I was telling people, the Bucs already have a short white receiver.
Right, and Scotty.
You know what I mean? Scotty, they're like the same thing.
They have the next Jules right there. Well, I don't know if he's going to be the next Jules, but they have a similar kind of player.
He's faster than Jules ever was.
Really? Well, yeah. That's true, because I remember that one pass at the, freaking the end of the first half in that Green Bay game where he was legit just flying right up the field and blew right by the secondary of the, the Green Bay Packers. And that boy was moving, right? He got wheels.
Julian Edelman is quick. Boom, 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 boom. But not
shifty.
Fast. Right, what I mean? He's shifty, squirrely, you know what I mean? But like when it comes to pure speed, that's Anthony Miller. He got that hands down.
Scotty Miller, yeah.
Scotty Miller. I want to say Tim Miller for some reason. Like who's Tim Miller?
Like who? Right.
I do know a Tim Miller. Shout out to Tim Miller. From college. Yes, from college. That's who Tim.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Shout out to Tim Miller.
Shout outs to him, man. So Julian Edelman retired, man, and like we did for LaMarcus Aldridge, this might hurt. Is he a Hall of Famer?
I know this is gonna break my heart to say this, because we're just professing our love for Jules and, our appreciation for everything he's done, with the New England Patriots organization for the last 12 years. And, love him. And, with all due respect, unfortunately, he's not a Hall of Famer, in my opinion. Like, I wouldn't have him in the Hall of Fame. I get that, he's had, he's one of the greatest playoff receivers, and, is pretty much, in the top list of every receiving category in the postseason. He's pretty much like second behind Jerry Rice, in what receiving yards or whatever on the postseason. So, and he's done a lot of great things, in the postseason as far as, in particularly in the Super Bowl. But I just feel like his regular season stats just aren't good enough in order to, be in the Hall of Fame. Like, he needed to do a little bit more in the regular season and have, a little bit, high and better numbers in the regular season in order for him to really qualify as a Hall of Famer. And that's why, John, I was hoping that he could play at least a year or two more for him to, get those stats and numbers up, for him to at least, be closer, for them to actually have at least a legitimate argument.
He's 34.
In order for, right, about to be 35 soon. Next month he'll be 35.
That's a big ask.
Right. But I was hoping at least one more year. That's because I know more than a year was probably not going to happen, especially with the injuries that, he's accumulated in his career. And, that's certainly taken a toll on him. And, and we're really the main reason why he, decided to retire early. But, I think, he just didn't do enough in the regular season for him to actually be considered and, and be a legitimate Hall of Famer. So the guy that's been compared to him, I'm sure you've heard this comparison, is Hines Ward. And Hines Ward's not even in the Hall of Fame. And I feel like there were similar type players, and, both slot receivers. And, Hines Ward had a really good career and, did a lot of really good things. And unfortunately, he hasn't been elected yet in the Hall of Fame. And his numbers are a little bit higher than Julian Edelman's in the regular season, even though Jules has the postseason numbers. So, unfortunately, he's just not really a Hall of Famer, but player. But he'll be in the Patriots Hall of Fame, though.
Yeah.
He will certainly be in the Patriots Hall of Fame one day. Looking forward to seeing that, wearing that red jacket, but not the NFL Hall of Fame.
Shout outs to Julian Edelman, man. He's probably
one of shout out to Jules.
Toughest, one of the toughest small wide receivers I've ever seen. Some of the hits I've seen this dude taking, one in particular is the one from 2014 Super Bowl where he got that hit from Cam Chancellor.
Ooh.
And I was for sure that kid was done, man. And he stumbled a few more yards to get, what we needed to convert that third down. You know what I'm saying? And like you could see Tweety Bird just flying.
But everybody and their mother knew
everybody knew that.
Right. And he still didn't get off the field, and he kept playing.
Who was it? I think Amendola.
I felt that.
For real. Who was it? Amendola or Hogan that was actually like holding him like, yo.
I think it was Amendola.
It was him like, yo, stand up.
Yo, bro.
Fix yourself. Fix yourself.
Address yourself real quick. Right. Don't make it too obvious now.
You know what I mean? Right. But all of us watching as Patriots fans were like, he just got fucked up. And
hell yeah.
Got up and made the play.
That like a bus.
The plays that he's made in the playoffs when he's throwing the ball or making a catch. The Falcons Super Bowl, like one of the best catches you'll ever see all time.
I think that's the best catch I've ever seen,
all time.
And watching the NFL and football, that to me is the best catch.
in a game that meant something, it's the best catch you'll ever see all time. Like, hands down, I don't care.
Yeah,
I'm not even being
absolutely.
biased because I'm a Patriots fan. It's just like, you will
That's
not
just the
see
facts.
another
Exactly.
catch with that much difficulty, you know what I mean, completed. Like, the guy was inches, you know, like not even inches, less than inches.
Centimeters, John. Centimeters.
From man, Julian Edelman, he's amazing. He was amazing for the Patriots. He was amazing for Tom Brady. He was pretty much there every third down Tom Brady had. You knew where the ball was going, and he was still gonna catch the ball, and he was still gonna get the yards. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Punt returns, playing on defense, motivation. You know what I mean? You see him on the sideline yelling, "You're old, you're old." You know what I mean? You gotta believe, you gotta believe. Like, you'll never,
right.
you know. And I've seen a lot of people say that he was gonna end up with the Bucks. I just think Julian Edelman's a different breed, and he's not even thinking about that right now. And his statements seemed pretty sincere. It wasn't like Rob Gronkowski. You know what I mean? I like how he did it before the draft as opposed to after the draft. Rob Gronkowski, where, you know, we didn't pick a tight end because we thought you were coming back. You know what I mean? And then you decided to come back with Tom Brady. You know, so with that said, I don't think he's going to come back because, like, if he came back, he'd be coming back at 35 after missing a year. That's just not going to work in the NFL. You know, that just doesn't work. And but I mean, with all that being said,
the wheels have fallen off.
They have.
He said, and yeah, right. Like, particularly coming back from like a knee injury that, you know, he had that late, you know, in his career, and he's already had, you know, multiple knee injuries. Is, you know, unfortunately something that, you know, not even he
you can't come back from that.
Off. Right. You know,
you can't.
With everything that he's gone through in his football career. But nonetheless, I mean, those guys, that guy is a warrior, and
man,
absolute right, the toughest football player I've honestly watched. You know, so, in my time watching football. So
to finish my point, you know, like, definitely one of the toughest. You know, you'll see that came out of a Patriots jersey. You know, but with that said, you know, like we said, man, you didn't dominate any part of your era. You know, I think Julian Edelman should be proud from where he came from, you know, as a 7th rounder to being in a Hall of Fame discussion is Hall of Fame worthy in itself. You know what I'm saying? So, like, you know, and the Hall of Fame itself actually tweeted out that Julian Edelman was going to be eligible for the Hall of Fame in 2026, which they don't do that. They don't do that for a lot of players. You know what I mean?
I did not know that. They really tweeted that out. He'll be on the ballot.
That he will be eligible.
Eligible
and being on the ballot is two different things. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. My fault. I got that confused. I'm mistaken. So
I think one day Edelman might be on somebody's ballot. You know what I mean? Simply because of the things that he did in the postseason. Like we said, he's number 2 behind only Jerry Rice in a lot of categories for the playoffs. And there's nobody else that's going to reach those numbers because there's nobody else that's going to reach those numbers, period, because who's going to go to, all these playoffs and all these Super Bowls? Like what Tom Brady and the Patriots did, we're never going to see that again. You know what I mean? So we're definitely lucky, me and you, we're lucky to have witnessed all these Super Bowls in our lifetime.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? And, one thing that always pissed me off is I've seen a lot of Patriots fans that were okay with when we lost games. And they're like, oh, we've won enough. You know what I mean? And I'd be like,
what?
We could lose for the next 100 years. Then what? You know what I'm saying? Like this doesn't just happen. You know what I mean? This is sports. Like, it's competitive and other teams step up. But
like losing should be unacceptable. Like,
unacceptable.
Never want to lose in any sort of way. I don't care how many times you won and how many championships you won. You should never want your team to lose, and that's not what playing sports is about. Playing sports is about wanting to be the best and wanting to be great, wanting
That's
to be
it.
better than your competition,
Listen, I
and
don't care
wanting
if
to
we're
dominate like
fans.
every
We want
single
to
year.
win.
Every single year, wanting to dominate and let you guys know that you are the best and
That's
that
it.
you're not falling off. And like, you want to lose one year and think that's okay. And that's
Yeah, because we
like,
won last year. Or we won in 2018. 2018 was already 3 years ago.
exactly. And what
Okay?
have we done since? Not a thing. Nothing.
We lost our Hall of Fame quarterback. That's what we done.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Then
And
he won
then,
another. So,
exactly. He got another one before us.
right. I hope those
Exactly.
people are happy. I hope,
I
like,
hope so. I
I
hope
guess you
all
guys,
them so-called Patriot fans, those people that consider themselves Patriot fans, are happy that we pretty much look like shit for in the last few years, and our Hall of Fame quarterback and greatest franchise player has already gotten a ring with another team before we even made the playoffs, before we
right,
even made it back to the playoffs. So
right.
horrible, man, terrible.
Anyway, man, Julian Edelman,
But
love
yeah,
you, bro.
thank you, Jules. Thank
Thank
you for
you
everything you've done
for
with
sure,
your
man.
12 years with the Patriots. You
Hey,
will be missed for
listen,
sure.
if you're a young wide receiver, look at Julian Edelman tapes, man. If you want to know how to run routes, how to be deceptive, if you're not the most athletic, not the fastest, watch Julian Edelman. You'll learn some stuff, man, for real.
Absolutely. No,
Um,
without question.
I hope he becomes one of the coaches, like receivers coach,
So I
because
was saying, like, right. I was just thinking of that too, John.
I
Legit. I was
hope Bill
literally just
Belichick's
about
like,
to say that.
bring him back here. Teach these
Right.
guys how to run routes.
Belichick is guy. He's cool with Belichick. So I'm sure if he wants to, get into coaching, or depend on what he wants to do with the next chapter of his life, I think that definitely would be a good fit. He'd certainly be a good fit on this staff, particularly since the Patriots now have like a younger coaching staff. You're seeing a lot of former players like Jared Mayo and Troy Brown
Yeah.
being a part of the staff. So that would certainly make sense to if they want to make Jules part of that staff too, he would definitely fit in, right in with those guys.
Right. They won't be here for too long because the rest of the NFL just hires all our coaches. So, you
Right,
know what I
yeah,
mean?
they'd want them as as head, coaching jobs of their team, just so that the Patriots can not be as great and not and fall off, and that still hasn't worked to this point. I mean, we had one bad year, but come on, it took us 20 years just to have one bad year after you took all them coaches and we still were winning. Like, come on, man.
We'll be back.
Absolutely.
The Patriots came out with a statement through the Players Association that many of their players will not participate in the voluntary workout period. So that's happening. So we'll probably see these guys in mandatory camps then. Probably coming in by groups. J.C. Jackson signed a second-round tender with the Patriots, and will remain with the Patriots. He was actually reportedly looking to sign a deal with another team. He could still be traded, but he'll be a free agent next year if he doesn't get traded. So hopefully we can do something long-term, man. Justin Fields had his second pro day. Bill Belichick did not attend the workouts, but the Patriots scouts and Josh McDaniels was in attendance. So they're looking at quarterbacks this year, man. And lastly, happy 69th birthday to Bill Belichick. 69, man. That's a
I
long.
know.
Damn.
I was just gonna say,
How long you think he's gonna keep coaching?
before I say that, I was just gonna say, who's happy about Bill Belichick turning 69?
Rob Gronkowski, the freaking
That's
pervert.
right, because that's his favorite number.
Yeah.
69. Because he even said that
Julian
there was
Edelman.
a 69% chance of Julian Edelman coming out of retirement to play for the Tampa Bay Bucks with him and Gronk, so he could play with his boys again. But so yeah, I'm sure he's laughing and smiling somewhere about Belichick being at 69. But no, happy birthday to the greatest coach of all time, Bill Belichick. Glad that he's still here with us and still coaching our team. and is still active with the organization and doing his thing. As far as how long he can actually be able to coach for and be a head coach of the Patriots, that's a tough question, man. I'd probably say if he really wanted to put his mind to it, he could probably do it until 74, 75, till like around 75, if he really actually wanted to still be a head coach. I think he could do it for another 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, I think Bill Belichick is one of those guys that he's just like work driven. Like he has to go to work. He's one of those old school guys with that work ethic. You know what I'm saying? Like no matter what, he has to get some work done. One of them guys that's going to be changing tires at 100 years old just because he likes to be active. But I think he's going to be in the league like 45, 46 years this year. So
Yeah,
I think
right.
he's going to coach until his 50th season and then decide to leave then.
Ooh, gonna leave after the big 5-0. Huh?
Yeah. 50 seasons?
Right. Like I don't think anybody's ever done that.
That's a
Right.
lifetime, bro.
Exactly. Right.
You know,
Legit a lifetime. Some
some
people
people
only
don't.
alive for 50 years.
Some people are alive a lot less. You know,
Exactly. Right.
like the boy that got shot by the cops.
20 years old. Unbelievable. The
You know,
20-year-old
so
kid.
that's a lifetime right there. You know,
No,
so
it is. Well, I hope he can make it to that. That'd be pretty cool and pretty awesome for him, to make it to that point. But like you're right, he's just like one of those people where like I feel like he's gonna do this for as long as he can, and he's legit gonna coach until he passes, until he dies or physically can't coach anymore, because that's just his mentality. Like he's not one of those people that can not be coaching football and not be on a football field or around the game of football.
hmm
So
yeah, man.
yeah, so we'll see how long he goes, but I still think he's got a few years left to be the coach of this team. So God willing, that's able to happen.
Yeah, man. And happy birthday again to him. Though we're
Yes,
going to
absolutely.
pivot into the MLB, where we're going to be updating you on some Red Sox. The Red Sox winning streak ended at 9 against the Twins, the Minnesota Twins. They played 4 games in 3 days and won 3 out of the 4, losing the last one. Right. Last Friday's game, which was what was Friday's date? I'm not sure, but last Friday's game.
Friday was the 16th.
The 16th.
Yeah.
That was postponed due to because the weather. That snow that came out of nowhere. That was wild.
Yeah, I know.
And
Crazy.
then
Snowing in April.
as quick as it came, the quicker it left because it rained and you don't see no snow out there right now. So thank God.
Right. Good thing.
Yeah, but the Red Sox did play on that following day, which was the Saturday, and they won 7-3. And they wore their Red Sox City jerseys. I think we were supposed to talk about the city jerseys in our last pod, and we didn't get around to it. You like those colors?
Yeah. At first, I liked them and thought that. Well, I didn't like them at first and thought like, damn, like these things are like ugly and
They're booty.
hideous, and, like in trash, right? Ass, exactly. I thought these. Oh man, I can't believe I just said that. But yeah, I thought they were terrible when I first saw them, and then as I've seen them more, and when I saw them, playing them on Saturday, I'm like, oh, these things are all right. They're not as bad as I thought, and actually look decent, and not that bad when they're but rocking them on the field during the game. So, yeah, I certainly think they've grown on me after seeing them several times. But yeah, when I first saw them, I did not like what I was seeing at all, and thought like there was some whack and garbage ass jerseys. So,
Yeah.
yep.
So I know that it's a playoff, the Boston Marathon, colors and stuff like that, especially that year that, the bombings happened. Um, and I don't know, I'm still on the fence about them. Um, they're like yellow, powdered blue. I don't know,
Right,
man.
not even any of the team colors.
Yeah,
Right.
they look weird to me. I'm still adjusting. I thought they were trash when I seen them the first time. You know what I mean? I still think they're trash, but you know, it seems like the team wins when they when they wear them.
Well, they just wore them that one time
That
so
one
far.
time, right? So far, it's a
They
winning
did win
streak.
at least. They
You
did
know,
win in those jerseys. So I'll
you
at
know
least give
what?
them that. But when you saw them win on the field, you thought like, damn, like what the hell are they wearing? These things are freaking garbage.
Poo poo. You know what I mean? Yo,
Ah, poo poo.
like my idea for a city jersey, I don't know what, because I've seen the concept. Somebody did the concept. You know that big when you're on the highway, that big oil tank with like the paints on it, the colors.
Yeah.
I've seen somebody make a city jersey with those stripes on it, and I'm like, yo, that would look absolutely sick. You know what I mean? I don't know why
That'd
they
be
don't do that,
fire, huh?
because everybody knows what that is. You know what I'm saying? It's like the Sitco
Mhm.
sign, kind of. It's like a symbol of like the city. So I don't. I mean, the marathon is definitely a symbol of the city, but
Yeah, no, without question, absolutely.
I don't know. I'm not gonna just like root for it just because they said it's the marathon theme. Like, I can still say it don't look great to me. It don't look great to me, but
No, I bet they aren't the best looking
no,
jerseys to say the
not by a
least.
long
But
stretch.
right. But I mean, if they'll be better looking if they keep winning in those jerseys, though. That would definitely make them, a lot better looking, and a lot more people and Red Sox fans will be liking them if they get wins on the field with them.
Right, the uniform's so ugly it distracts the other team into losing. Um,
Oh, for real. Because it must be too bright on their eyes. It must really be hurting their eyes, man. It must be so bright. Like, damn, like, really got to stare at these jerseys for 9 innings on, and 3+ hours long, like, all freaking game. Like, come on, bro. That's probably, these other teams are probably thinking, like, damn, y'all had to make these jerseys so bright.
yeah, man. So the Red
Oh,
Sox,
man.
they'll play a doubleheader on Sunday, and that's going to be against the White Sox. So
Yes, and they've actually, John, just finished the first game of that double header, and they actually
yeah,
ended
because
up
that
losing.
was really
Yeah, they
okay.
lost 3-2.
All
Hopefully,
right,
they weren't wearing the city jerseys then.
right.
Hopefully not.
Yo, so some of the previous game scores is they won against the Twins 14-9, again against the Twins 4-2, and then again 3-2, and then they lost that one game 4-3, and then came back and won 7-4. And now the upcoming games is today they have the doubleheader against the White Sox, and then another one tomorrow against the White Sox to complete that series, and then they'll head into series with the Blue Jays starting the 20th. 420.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
420 coming up.
Right. Yeah. Whoever designed those jerseys was on that 420.
Ha!
Um,
Right. Must have been on that good, right, for real. Right.
uh,
Oh, man.
I mean, so right now the Red Sox sit atop at the AL East right now. Um,
Yep.
you think they can sustain what they've been doing? And what do you say about, Alex Cora coming back and, we're off to this great start?
Yeah, I mean, I hope that they can sustain it. I'm still, on the fence and uncertain as far as how long they can continue to play this well for. Um, I definitely like what I'm seeing now. The 9 game winning streak was, was impressive and nice to see. It's still pretty early into the season, but they've certainly got some good habits going. They're playing much harder and better than they did last year. I think Corey's definitely had a big influence and is getting the best out of them. But I'm still not sure on how long this can keep going and if they're actually going to be a contender in the division and make the playoffs. That still need to see more because it's still we haven't seen enough and they haven't played enough games in order to determine how good this team is. But hopefully they can continue to keep playing as well as they are, and hopefully those main guys like JD Martinez and Devers and Bogarts and even Verdugo, hopefully they continue to keep playing well and at a high level for this team to be successful. But yeah, I'm not completely sold on the team just yet because I don't think their pitching's that good, particularly the bullpen. So we'll see how they do once as the season goes on.
Yeah, I'm definitely not sure about the season and how if they'll keep this up and sustain the victories. One thing I do like though is I definitely like Verdugo. I like that kid. His character, he's a good guy.
Yes,
Good guy for
that's
sure.
awesome. Did you see that video of him talking to that
Yeah,
fan,
explaining.
talking about hitting?
Yeah,
with that fan, like the fundamentals and stuff.
that was
That
real
was pretty
awesome.
cool and that was pretty dope. Right. He seems like he's a
Down to
laid back
earth,
and right, and a pretty cool guy to actually talk to and have a conversation with. So
right.
I'm starting to like him too. So hopefully he keeps playing well.
For real. On to the NHL. We go to update you on the Bruins and what's going on here. Some of the previous game scores. They played the Sabres and they won. That was on the 13th, and they won 3-2. On the 15th, they played the Islanders. They won 4-1, and then again the 16th against the Islanders and won 3-3 zip. Upcoming games, they have one on the 18th, which is on Sunday against the Capitals. And then on the 20th against the Sabres, and 22nd against the Sabres, and then a series with the Penguins, 25th versus Penguins, and the 27th. The Bruins actually made some moves at the trade deadline this year, where they traded the third-round pick from Mike Riley. They traded for Taylor Hall and Curtis Lazar for Andres Bjork and a second-round pick. Tuukka Rask came back in the lineup since last Thursday, and Jeremy Swayman played on Friday, and he's actually been doing well himself. So the Bruins seemed like they made a good move by bringing in some of these players, who's already starting to pay off for them.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Definitely the new players they picked up at the deadline are already contributing and playing really well. For them, I know Taylor Hall didn't have a good, first game, but that was because he actually had to drive from Buffalo to Boston to play in that first game, and that's I don't know if any of you guys have made that drive, but I have actually, and that's a pretty long drive. So I think he had to play that same day as soon as he got to Boston. So that was definitely tough on him, but as well as the other guy, Curtis Lazar. But the last couple games that they've been on the ice, they've actually looked pretty good. And Taylor Hall's actually was in that same draft as Tyler Seguin. I don't know if you remember who Tyler Seguin is, John. But
of course I remember who
Tyler Seguin is. Because I know you're not a big hockey guy, so but I know you're definitely aware of these players, particularly if they play for the Bruins.
You know what I remember about Tyler Seguin? There's this picture with him skating on the ice in the Garden, and these two girl fans, they had this sign that said like they did something to Tyler
Oh
Sagan.
yeah, I remember that. I ain't
I
gonna
was
say,
like,
but I know
that,
what you're talking about.
that was some
I
goat shit.
remember
That
that.
was some goat shit.
Yes, dude. Yes, dude. That was the GOAT status right there.
Yeah,
Right, right. No doubt, man. That was hilarious, hysterical. I
yo,
know. I couldn't believe when I saw that. That
that's
I don't think I've
bold.
seen anything like that. Watching sports and any signs like that with as many games as I've been to. Uh, yeah, that was crazy. But just getting back to what I was saying before. He was actually the number 1 pick in that draft, Taylor Hall. And Tyler Sagan went number 2 to the Bruins.
Oh
And
wow.
so yeah. So and the Bruins were actually interested in drafting him and brought both of those guys in for a visit. Before the draft and stuff. So and there were rumors saying that the Bruins were gonna pick him up in the draft, but unfortunately they didn't. And then they actually tried to in the offseason pick him up and sign him before he ended up signing that contract with Buffalo. So there's been some interest between Taylor Hall and the Bruins for a while. So he definitely seems to be you know playing better than he was with the former teams that he was with, and happy to be with the Bruins. And he's actually a former MVP as well. With I think 2017, he won the MVP. With the New Jersey Devils. So he's definitely shown that when he's at his best, he can, be a really good player and has talent. So those guys have certainly feel like they've given this team a spark. And like how I was saying, remember how I was saying that this team needs like more talent on the other lines besides the first line, besides the Bergeron,
Yeah.
Marchand, and Pasternak line, that perfection line is, they like to call it, like they need, other guys that can score and make plays, and they didn't have enough of those. So it's good to see that the Bruins were active in the deadline and they brought some new guys that can be able to help them, score more goals and, and make more plays out there, on offense, and also, help on defense as well, bringing that defenseman, Mike Riley. Uh, so no, the Bruins are playing much better, and what really why they made that move, because the day before they made those trades, they got their asses whooped by the Capitals 8-1. I don't know if you saw that,
Yep.
but the
I
day
seen that.
before the trade deadline,
Yep.
they got a nice ass whooping by the Washington Capitals, and I think that really was reality check and made Don Sweeney and the Bruins realize that, yeah, if we're going to make anything of this season and actually make a run at a Stanley Cup, we
Mm-hmm.
need to make moves to improve this team. And that's what they did. So, it was good to see them actually, do that and, put, and to make the team better at the deadline, which is what they needed to do.
Yep.
And Tuukka Rask, played well in his first game back on Thursday. After that long layoff, I was a little bit worried about how he was going to look when he came back, but he definitely looked like himself, and had a really good game. And then this Swayman kid, man, he's playing really well. He's like been the
Tough.
unsung hero of the team, and has certainly, been, big time for them, and giving them that second good goalie that they needed, doing that good quality backup, since they haven't had a lot for a while due to COVID protocol. So
Mm-hmm.
he stepped up big time, and has definitely been held down the fort and doing this thing. So, hopefully this team can keep it up, and the new guys can keep, playing well and doing what they're doing. They won today against the Capitals 6-3, so they got revenge from that 8-1 loss they had last week. And so hope this team is certainly playing good hockey right at the right time of the season, and hopefully they can keep that going here as we head close to the stretch run.
That's a fact, man. Good luck to the Bruins. It's always good. I mean, it looks like, two teams in the city made moves at the trade deadline or after the trade deadline and got some quick returns on their investment. So that's pretty cool to see, man.
Yeah, it's
And
great. It's good to see that, John, that our teams are,
being
making
active.
moves and exactly and doing what they need to do to help the team, get better and be more competitive.
Right.
So,
And
that definitely makes you happy as a fan, and and definitely gives you something to get excited about and look forward to.
with that said, I know some people have some excited stuff to look forward to, and some people just did some really excited stuff. So we're going to go into
There you
the
go. I
B
like
Money
how you're
Lifestyle
using my
person.
words, John. I like that.
Yeah,
I see you.
you like
Okay.
that. Yeah. So
Okay.
who
Yeah.
who you got? Because I know you got a couple of good people on there.
Yeah, for the B Money Lifestyle people of the
Hmm.
week. Yeah. So this week, for the B Money Lifestyle is gonna be a little bit different. So the first person I wanted to recognize for the B Money Lifestyle people of the week is my good friend from Springfield College, Bobby Ritz, who's actually a big, supporter of the podcast. He was
Yes,
at
he
the
is.
pop-up shop.
He came to the pop up.
Yeah, he pulled up, over to the pop-up shop that we did in November, and he follows the the podcast every week when they come out. So it definitely is supportive of what we're doing. So definitely just wanted to congratulate him on getting married on Saturday. He actually got married to his
That's huge.
fiance, that he was engaged with. So they said their adieus, and yeah, it made it official. So that definitely big shout outs to him for for being a married man and a husband now. So
Yes, sir.
that definitely great. We wish him nothing but great things with his marriage, and continued love and happiness with with his wife. So, and thanks for your support as well, because he's always hitting me up just about every week, and giving me feedback on the episode. So thanks for supporting us and following us, and we definitely appreciate your the support you've given us to this point, and we hope that you keep supporting us moving forward.
Bobby.
Yeah, so my guy Bobby, salute to you, brother. And then the second person that I wanted to give a shout out to for this Be Money Lifestyle segment is my good friend Kimberly. Ramrika. So
Ramreka.
Ramrika. Yeah, did I say
Canada
that right?
Kim. Yeah, you did.
Yeah, Canada Kim. That's
Canada
right. Yeah,
Kim.
yeah, yes. So she actually and is also a big fan of Pro Ben Sports, and consistently follows our episodes every week, which is certainly much appreciated. But she also has a big birthday coming up. It's actually going to be coming up on Tuesday when this podcast
Happy
comes
birthday,
out.
Kim.
So definitely want to wish her a happy birthday. And glad that she's made it another year, and I wish her another great years, and hopefully she's has many more birthdays and years to come. So happy birthday, Kimberly, and congrats Bobby on getting married. And those are your B Money Lifestyle people of the week, and that's definitely that B Money Lifestyle.
Yes, sir. Enjoy that. Live it up, people. Happy birthday.
Yes.
Congratulations, man. And that's going to be it for episode 57 with Barry and myself. Vlad, we missed you, bro. We missed
We
you.
miss you, Vlad. Man, hopefully you're back next week with us.
We'll catch you on episode 58, Vlad, and everybody else. We'll catch you then, too. Until then, peace out.
Have a good week, everyone. See y'all next week.